Namaskar, good evening. You're watching the News Hour at 9 and I'm Swati Joshi. A fresh political storm has erupted over the demolition of illegal structures. Charges of minority targeting are flying thick and fast with claims that Muslim homes were disproportionately razed. One side screams bulldozer Raj. The other calls it law and order enforcement. But here's the twist. This is not BJP versus the opposition. This is a Congress-ruled Karnataka locking horns with a left-ruled Kerala. The anti-encroachment drive in Bengaluru's Kogilu layout triggered the clash after Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan slammed it as the brutal normalization of bulldozer politics, alleging anti-minority bias. The response from Karnataka was swift and sharp. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and Deputy CM D.K. Shivakumar accused Vijayan of speaking without facts, insisting the structures were illegal constructions on hazardous waste dumping land. They warned Kerala CM to stay out of Karnataka's affairs.
Certain state governments, they are using bulldozer rule selectively. They are using bulldozer mainly against minority and Dalit.
Kerala CM is doing politics. His election. He is in a time of losing his election. He is trying to do politics. We doesn't want to involve in. I am requesting him. You should be aware of this. This is a local issue. We have to safeguard the interest of the health hazard. We don't want illegal people to occupy in a government property.
Well, even as Karnataka government was telling Kerala Chief Minister to mind his own business, it found itself facing interference from within its own party. The AICC General Secretary KC Venugopal publicly rapped the Congress government in Karnataka. Taking to X, Venugopal said, and I quote, AICC has serious concern that such actions should have been undertaken with far greater caution and compassion. That intervention has now handed the BJP fresh ammunition. Beyond accusing the Congress of appeasement, even in law enforcement, the BJP is asking a pointed question. What is KC Venugopal's locus standi? What authority does a Kerala MP have to sermonize a democratically chosen leadership in Karnataka? The BJP asks it bluntly. Is Venugopal the super CM? Or does the Congress High Command believe state governments run on Delhi diktats?
We are talking about the interference of in the state of affairs of Karnataka by Kerala Chief Minister. Now the same thing on behalf of the Congress High Command, Mr. KC Venugopal is interfering in the state affairs. That shows that the Congress government is completely incapable.
In Karnataka, there seems to be multiple CMs. One is Chief Minister, one is a super CM, another is a High Command CM. Now, KC Venugopal, this High Command CM is not suggesting, but is giving instructions to Karnataka government stating that reformation is required when it comes to minorities issues.
This top-down approach has come to be the nemesis of the party that is in the 140th year of its existence. It is this organizational weakness that was also red flagged by Congress veteran Digvijay Singh. As Congress top brass gathered for CWC meet, Digvijay put up an old photo of Prime Minister Modi, seated at the feet of leaders like Mr. Advani, and praised how a grassroots worker of RSS and Janasangh went on to become a CM and then the PM. His choice of metaphor created controversy. This party members asked, how could a Godse follower organization inspire? Manikam Tagore even compared Sangh to Al-Qaeda. The question is, are they missing the woods for the trees? While focusing on Sangh, did Congress top brass ignore that actual message? That their organization needs an overhaul?
तारीफ की है संगठन की। मैं आरएसएस और मोदी जी का घोर विरोधी हूँ। फंक्शन only through decentralized manner. सर आपने that is my मेरा सवाल ले लीजिए।
हमारे तो 140 साल के इतिहास है, उसमें तो बहुत सारी चीजें सीख सकते हैं उससे ना, तो हम अपने आप से भी सीख सकते हैं। डिसिप्लिन तो बड़ी जरूरी है कोई भी पार्टी में। आप सोचिए जी, मैं भी चाहता हूं कि हमारे संगठन जरा सा मजबूत हो और हमारे संगठन के अंदर तो डिसिप्लिन होना ही चाहिए, तो लॉजिकल है। तो ये लेकिन दिग्विजय सिंह साहब अपने आप बोल सकते हैं ना उनसे।
संगठन है आरएसएस नफरत से बड़ा बना हुआ संगठन है। वो नफरत फैलाती है, नफरत उससे सीखने के लिए कुछ नहीं है। ये आप अलकायदा के साथ कोई सीख सकते हैं क्या? वो संगठन अल-कायदा एक नफरत का संगठन है, लोग दूसरों को ऊपर नफरत करती है। उस संगठन से क्या सीखने के लिए?
And that brings us to the legitimate question we are asking this evening. Is the Congress High Command the sleeper cell that Digvijay alleged was destroying the party? Let's open this up and let's take that question across to our guests.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
And tonight we're joined by Tulin Sinha, national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. We have political analyst Tushar Gupta on the panel with us. Anand Dubey, spokesperson of the UBT, is also on the panel, along with Ashwini Mishra, leader Congress, and Dr. Sumansi Raman, political analyst. Good evening to all of you. Ashwini Kumar Mishra, I want to begin with you. Digvijay Singh कह रहे हैं, he's saying wake up and smell the coffee. और राहुल गांधी को बदमाशी नजर आ रही.
Good evening, Swati ji. Good evening to your viewers and fellow panelists. I am just wondering how that magic happened that BJP and the whole media is now loving Digvijay Singh's statement. What Digvijay Singh is highlighting is that RSS controls BJP and BJP controls power. Ideally, India must control both through constitution, which is not happening. So he is highlighting, whereas if you look at Congress, it allows us voices, disagreement, discussions. That's the strength, not the weakness. So stop playing around that. Digvijay Singh is pro-BJP, anti-Congress. Digvijay Singh is highlighting the fact that in BJP there is
I never said any of that. I only asked you a simple question. Digvijay Singh is asking you to wake up and smell the coffee. Why do I say that and why have I framed that question? क्योंकि आपको सिर्फ एक ये ट्वीट नजर आ रहा है. मैंने थोड़ा उनकी टाइमलाइन को खंगाला तो कुछ और पुराने ट्वीट भी दिखाई दिए. 19th of December को this is what Digvijay Singh said. And he tagged Rahul Gandhi. He's saying, Rahul Gandhi, what you said about socio-economic issues, full marks to you, bang on. And in the same tweet, Digvijay Singh says, but now please look at INC also. Like the Election Commission needs reform, so does Indian National Congress. You have started with Sangathan Srijan, but we need more pragmatic, decentralized functioning. Please pay close attention, Mr. Mishra. He says, I am sure you would do it because I know you can do it. Only problem is that it is not easy to convince you. Digvijay Singh asking for reforms. Digvijay Singh saying we need decentralized functioning. And then from 19 to 27, Digvijay Singh highlights a picture जिसमें नरेंद्र मोदी दिखाई दे रहे हैं, जिसमें Digvijay Singh talks about how a grassroots workers becomes first a chief minister, then goes on to become the prime minister, and then he says, मैंने संगठन की तारीफ की है. तो ये एंटी कांग्रेस, प्रो बीजेपी, ये सब आप बोलिए. मेरा सवाल स्पष्ट है. He is asking for reforms. He is giving a direct message to Rahul Gandhi. But look how casual it's all being taken. It's a बदमाशी for Rahul Gandhi कि बदमाशी कर रहे हैं.
Swati ji, that's what I was trying to highlight. कि Congress में we expect everyone's view. We have a democracy in our Congress and we expect all the positive discussions, all the positive suggestions, and if they are taken by the entire Congress committee, they are implemented also. If you look at Bharatiya Janata Party, there is no place for any dissent there. So again, you are reading too much between the lines. As he rightly said, every political party
I don't have to. He's very clearly saying Rahul Gandhi ji.
Strong cadre.
Mr. Mishra, कोई गुत्ती नहीं सुलझा रहे हैं हम. It's very clearly written. I don't have to read between the lines. It's very clear in the lines itself where he says Rahul Gandhi. All right. Full marks to you for talking about other issues. Let's focus on Congress. Like the Election Commission of India, Congress needs reforms too. और आपने बहुत अच्छा हुआ कि खुद ही डेमोक्रेसी का मुद्दा उठा लिया. So then tell me something, that a democratically elected government in Karnataka takes a decision, goes after illegal constructions, says law enforcement हम लोग कर रहे हैं, that bulldozer action is justified. Then who is K.C. Venugopal to tell the government that you have to be careful, cautious? Who is K.C. Venugopal? What kind of democracy is this?
Why can't K.C. Venugopal speak about it? Isn't the democracy in the country? Everyone has a right to speak about any issues which they feel is appropriate.
No. Here on one hand, I'm talking about the government of the state, the CM, the DCM taking a decision. And here, Mr. K.C. Venugopal, who's an MP from Kerala,
It is the
wants
decision
to
of the government
wants
of the
to
state.
dictate
It is-
wants to dictate to the government of another state, and that is democracy.
It's not dictating, Swati. Government of Karnataka is taking action based on the legal proceeding. However, K.C. Venugopal ji felt that government has to be cautious on all its decision. I don't understand when someone suggests
So he
something
puts it
within
out
the
on
Congress,
X.
because I'm
If
repeating
it is a
again,
legal
like
decision,
I
why does the government need sermons?
Everyone
If it
has
is
the
a
right to
legal
speak within the
decision,
party.
if it is
Why
a
you
legal
take it as a-
decision, if they are enforcing law, why do they need these sermons from Mr. K.C. Venugopal?
No, because what we have seen in state like Uttar Pradesh, where government misuses bulldozers to
So your government
demolish the houses of lot many specific.
So your government is
communities. So
misusing
it
powers
it
in Karnataka?
Mere statement that it's a mere statement. Let's not replicate what government. of
Everything is a
BJP
mere
does in
statement.
various
Digvijay
states.
Singh says
He's telling-
something.
he just
Digvijay
suggesting
sees
government
no,
that
one
be
second.
cautious
Digvijay
about that.
sees
What's
something
the problem
and
with that?
says something. You ask me not to read between the lines, even though he is very clear. If K.C. Venugopal is saying something, it's just a statement. Let's not take that seriously too. ये समय आ गया कि लोग भी आपको seriously नहीं ले रहे हैं. Let me go across to Tuhin Sinha. By the way, Shubhrashtra has also joined us on the debate. She's the author and founder of The Churn. तुहिन सिन्हा, बहुत खुश होंगे आप, बहुत बीजेपी वाले खुश होंगे कि आपके नेताओं की तस्वीर सोशल मीडिया पर डाल के संगठन के शक्ति की बातें हो रही हैं.
Good evening, Swati ji. Good evening, everybody. You know, as I can see today, there are two Congress parties within the Congress party. Number one, there are leaders who are trying to show the mirror to Rahul Gandhi. There are leaders who are trying to drill sense into Rahul Gandhi. They are trying to call out the toxic megalomania of the Gandhi family. And then there are people like Manikam Tagore, who, while he shares his surname with the legendary Rabindranath Tagore, his behavior, his words show that he seems to be inspired by the ideology of Asim Munir. Who in his right sense can equate RSS with Al-Qaeda like he did? And Rahul Gandhi seems to be enamored. Rahul Gandhi seems to be under the influence of such tasteless characters who have no idea about RSS, who have no idea about nation building. So Congress party today is a rudderless entity. Today it's a directionless entity. Having said that, while we appreciate Digvijay Singh calling out Rahul Gandhi's sheer absence of leadership, the directionlessness of the Congress party, we are very skeptical of people like Digvijay Singh because he shares the same ideology. And we cannot forget the fact that Digvijay Singh had released a book 2611 RSS Ki Sazish. So it is for Rahul Gandhi to introspect what is happening within his party, why there are two Congress parties clearly contradicting each other. But yes, I think the Congress party celebrated its foundation day 2 days ago. It is about time the Congress party seriously considers the suggestion of Mahatma Gandhi and dissolves the party, because the party is not serving India as such. It is only feeding anti-India propaganda, whether it was Operation Sindoor, whether it is
No, but
any other
Mr.
thing.
Mishra is saying, Tuhin Sinha, आपको अचानक से दिग्विजय सिंह पे इतना प्यार क्यों आ रहा है? Why has he become the new favorite?
मैंने तो कह दिया कोई प्यार नहीं है. लोग राहुल गांधी को आईना दिखा रहे हैं. राहुल गांधी आईना नहीं देखना चाहते, ये उनकी प्रॉब्लम है. लेकिन दिग्विजय सिंह पर कतई हमें भरोसा नहीं है.
अच्छा.
लोग आईना दिखा रहे हैं, राहुल गांधी को समझ आ रहा है तो ठीक है, नहीं समझ में आ रहा है तो राहुल गांधी, तो कांग्रेस पार्टी का अंत तय है अगर राहुल गांधी नहीं सुधरेंगे तो.
बोलिए मिस्टर मिश्रा.
तुहिन जी बोल रहे हैं कांग्रेस के अंदर दो कांग्रेस हैं. तुहिन जी, बीजेपी के अंदर तो एक भी बीजेपी नहीं है, जीरो बीजेपी है. योर इंटायर पावर रन्स फ्रॉम नागपुर. हाउ कैन यू टॉक अबाउट समथिंग लाइक दैट? कुछ तो डेमोक्रेसी है हमारे यहाँ. तो
आपके नेता इंटरव्यूज में कहते हैं देयर इज नो इंटरनल डेमोक्रेसी. आपके नेता लोग कहते हैं वी फील लाइक हेडलेस चिकन्स व्हेन वी स्टेप आउट। जब आप अपने भीतर की प्रॉब्लम ना देखें तो ये दिक्कत हो जाती है कि लोगों को सोशल मीडिया के जरिए याद दिलाना पड़ता है कि ओके फाइन, you're talking about social issues, let's come back to Congress because Congress also needs reforms like the Election Commission of India. Okay,
आप लोग रोज राहुल गांधी
I'll come to you.
करते हैं,
हाँ.
that is
ये दिग्विजय सिंह जी क्यों डाल देते हैं सोशल मीडिया पे इस तरह की चीजें?
I want to thank you for that.
No, one second. Thank Digvijay Singh. Thank Digvijay Singh because Digvijay Singh को शायद समय नहीं मिल पा रहा है कुछ बोलने का. So he is going on social media. So he is going on social media. But despite that, you are not smelling the coffee and not waking up. Despite that, your leader is not ready to wake up. Despite that, your leader is not ready to wake up. Now let me bring in Anand Dubey. Anand Dubey थोड़ा सा और कॉफी आपको देंगे, थोड़ा सा और मिरर आपको दिखाएंगे. और आनंद दुबे जी, क्या कांग्रेस पार्टी हैज लॉस्ट, क्या कांग्रेस पार्टी हैज इट लॉस्ट सेंस ऑफ ग्राउंड रियलिटी? लोगों से टच खत्म हो गया है कि नब्ज लोगों की समझ में नहीं आ रही है कि कभी चुनाव जैसे आप लोग हारे उसके बाद से कभी आप उनको एरोगेंट कह रहे हैं, कभी कह रहे हैं कि ये तो टूरिस्ट है. क्यों?
स्वाति जोशी जी नमस्ते.
नमस्ते.
नमस्ते सदा वत्सले मातृभूमे त्वया हिंदू भूमे सुखम वर्धितोहम. ये ऐसा गीत है जो बचपन में स्कूल के दिनों से हम सब पढ़ते हैं, उसका बड़ा आदर करते हैं. उसका कारण है कि आज से 100 साल पहले अगर कोई संगठन बने इस देश में, जिसको बनाने के लिए हम सबके परम श्रद्धेय डॉक्टर हेडगेवार सर, जो कि 1925 में इस संगठन को इसलिए लाते हैं कि एक हिंदुत्व के समाज को इकट्ठा करके क्रांति की जाए और अंग्रेजों को भगाया जाए. हेडगेवार सर कांग्रेस में भी कुछ साल रहे, फिर उन्होंने आरएसएस बनाया. अब अगर उस आरएसएस से आप इतनी नफरत करोगे, या बजरंग दल से आप इतनी नफरत करोगे, या वीएचपी से आप इतनी नफरत करोगे, या शिवसेना से आप इतनी नफरत करोगे, तो आपको रिजल्ट मिलेगा. और रिजल्ट एक ही है लोकतंत्र में और भारत के डॉक्टर बाबा साहब आम्बेडकर जी के दिए गए संवैधानिक प्रक्रिया में आपको हारना पड़ेगा. आप हार रहे हो बार बार, फिर भी आप ये नहीं समझ रहे हो कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी को हराना है तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी से बेहतर बनना होगा. विचारधारा की लड़ाई है, बहुत सारे मुद्दे, जरूर बात करो, जरूर देश पर बात करो, पर्यावरण पर बात करो, महंगाई पर बात करो, और डॉलर क्यों महंगा हो रहा है, रुपया क्यों कमजोर हो रहा है, नौकरियां नहीं है, महंगाई बहुत सारे मुद्दे हैं. लेकिन बात अगर जब इस देश के उस सामाजिक संगठनों के खिलाफ करोगे, चाहे हिंदुत्व के खिलाफ करोगे, चाहे सनातन को डेंगू कहोगे, चाहे राम भगवान को काल्पनिक कहोगे, राम सेतु को कोई स्टैच्यू का पत्थर कहोगे, तो यह देश आपको वोट नहीं देगा.
लेकिन आनंद दुबे जी, कोई ये भी कह सकता है कि आप लोगों को भी चुनाव हारने के बाद,
राम भगवान से,
कि आप लोगों को भी चुनाव हारने के बाद लग रहा है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी एरोगेंट हो गई है. चुनाव हारने के बाद आप लोगों को लग रहा है कि ये हिंदुत्व को गाली देते हैं या सनातन धर्म को गाली देते हैं. जब आप लोग अलायंस बना रहे थे तब आप लोगों को नहीं लग रहा था?
2019 में एक अलायंस बना था कॉमन मिनिमम प्रोग्राम पर. हम पूरी जिंदगी कांग्रेस की विचारधारा के खिलाफ लड़ते हुए बड़े हुए हैं. हम वीर सावरकर को अपना आराध्य मानते हैं, ये वीर सावरकर से नफरत करते हैं. हम राम भगवान के प्रति अपनी श्रद्धा दिखाते हैं तो ये कहते हैं कि सनातन डेंगू. हमें एक बात नहीं समझ में आ रही कि आप इनको हमसे क्यों जोड़ रही हैं.
अरे आप ही तो खुद जुड़ गए ना.
2019 में डूब गई थी महाराष्ट्र में.
एक सेकेंड सर, अभी आप लोग आप भाइयों में अब एकजुटता हो गई है तो आपको कांग्रेस में विलन नजर आ रहा है?
नहीं, पहली बात तो कांग्रेस में विलन नजर आने का प्रश्न नहीं उठता है. कांग्रेस ने हमसे दूरी बनाई, हमने तो नहीं बनाई थी. हमने राज ठाकरे जी के साथ गठबंधन किया, दो भाई इकट्ठे आए. कांग्रेस को इनका स्वागत करना चाहिए था. राम और भरत का मिलाप देखकर तो देवता भी प्रसन्न होते हैं.
आप बहुत कॉन्ट्रडिक्शंस आज बहुत कॉन्ट्रडिक्शंस आप पेश कर रहे हैं. अलायंस में आप पहले गए, उसके बाद आप उनको जो भी नेम कॉलिंग करे, फिर आप कह रहे हैं कि इनको और हमको मत जोड़िए, फिर आप कह रहे हैं कि उन्होंने दूरी बनाई. बहुत कॉन्ट्रडिक्शंस है. मुझे किसी और के पास भी जाना पड़ेगा. डॉक्टर सुमन सिंह रमन, आई वांट टू कम टू यू फॉर मोर. एक मिनट, वापस आऊंगी सर. राउंड 2,
5 सेकंड.
अच्छा ठीक है, 5 सेकंड. हाँ ठीक.
मेरा क्या कहना है, हमारी गठबंधन बनी थी 2019 में. 2025 में हम बैठे हैं, 5-6 साल हुआ है. बचपन के साथ इनके साथ गुल्ली डंडा नहीं खेले हैं हम लोग. जीवन भर हमारा डीएनए, बीजेपी का डीएनए सेम ही रहा हिंदुत्व का। कुछ चीजें हुई, अनहोनी घटनाएं घटी जो नहीं होनी चाहिए थी, लेकिन देश से बड़ा कोई धर्म नहीं है। और शिवसेना का एक हिंदुत्व का कार्यकर्ता होने का मुझे जीवन भर गर्व रहेगा। वीर सावरकर मेरे आराध्य थे, हैं और रहेंगे।
चलिए फिर अब देखेंगे अब आगे क्या, अब आगे आप क्या करेंगे, अब आगे आप क्या करें। इतनी बड़ी बातें आपने कह दी, आगे आपकी राजनीति किस दिशा में जाएगी फिर वो देखने वाली बात होगी। फिर दोबारा आपको याद न दिलाना पड़े कि आपने क्या कहा था। लेट मी गो अक्रॉस टू डॉक्टर सुमन सी रमन. Dr. Suman C. Raman, we also saw one second. We also saw the barbs being exchanged between the Chief Minister of Kerala, who said that the Congress party is following the anti-minority project or the anti-minority politics of RSS. On the issue of bulldozer action in Karnataka, the Chief Minister of Kerala, and these are all allies, part of the INDI group, the great INDI bloc, he says that this is nothing but eroding democratic mandate, once again the design or the project of the RSS. He gets a shut up call. He is told, you have no knowledge, you're speaking without knowledge, and you can't interfere in our matters. And then KC Venugopal says the same thing. Is KC Venugopal also doing it all for elections? Is he the super chief minister?
No, Swati, I think you are misunderstanding a lot of things. One, in a democracy, different voices from within a party will speak out. They will sometimes articulate issues which the party may not have a unanimous decision on, and where they would like to provoke a debate. I mean, it's not like, the BJP where two people say things and everybody just falls in line. And nobody has an opinion on anything unless it's cleared by the quote-unquote high command. Today, the BJP is actually more of a Congress than the Congress party. This is how the Congress actually started going down, by creating this high command culture where decisions were centralized and taken by one or two people.
Okay.
Now, at least there is an attempt by senior leaders like Digvijay Singh to ask for a decentralized setup. Why is that a problem?
No, that is not a problem. No, that is not a problem. But who is KC Venugopal? Who is KC Venugopal if not close to the high command and the two voices that you were talking about? And why is Digvijay Singh using social media platforms to say that Rahul Gandhi, it's difficult to convince you?
Why not? I mean, see, I would look at it as a kind of familiarity that enables a senior leader. Digvijay Singh is in his 70s. He's not a 40-year-old or he's not a contemporary of Rahul Gandhi. So he is one generation ahead of Rahul Gandhi. And he is in a position where he can actually say these things and not fear about the repercussions of being expelled from the party, which could happen had he been in
why is Shashi Tharoor asked to speak at party forums? Why is he told that you have to raise the issue at the right forum?
See, Shashi Tharoor, as everybody knows, has been pushing his level best for being expelled from the Congress party, which the Congress party has not obliged him so far. Look, your leader is not invited to a state banquet, and you go. I mean, what kind of a person who has respect for his party leadership does that? You don't do that, Swati. I mean, these are very basic things. So he is basically saying, expel me because I can continue to retain my member of parliament seat for the remaining of my term, and they are not doing it.
So two separate rules. But two separate rules. Still two separate rules. Depending upon how close you are to the high command. To one person, you are saying that he's a veteran. He is not the same age as Rahul Gandhi. He can voice his opinion on social media. For the other, you're saying he wants to be expelled. That's why he's saying all this.
No. Bottom line is, Shashi Tharoor is not one statement or one action. If you see the statements of Shashi Tharoor over the last 3 to 4 months, it is a pattern. And it is clear to everybody that here is a man who says, please expel me. So you can't equate what he says with a long timer like Digvijay Singh, who has
there were some really senior leaders. There was something called as G23 that also spoke about lack of leadership, the leadership crisis and structural problems. Whatever happened to that? Shubhrashta, there's a difference between Shashi Tharoor voicing his opinion because he wants to be expelled from the party, and between Digvijay Singh.
Yes, Swati, so two things. I don't believe in all these conspiracy theories that who is planning to resign or who is planning to be expelled. My simple point is this. As somebody who observes politics, as somebody who is a student of politics, I just see that I see a party like the BJP, which is rooted in the ethos of organization, not just organizational might, but also how organization is built and sustained. And we see a Congress party, which is a family-run business or an enterprise. Now, very interestingly, somebody from their camp, as in the camp of the of Rahul Gandhi, quoted Sangh Prarthana. And of course, here life comes a full circle because Digvijay Singh was one of those theorists who talked about saffron terror, and today he's talking about Sangh in such a light. I just want to quote from the same, Sangh Prarthana that the gentleman quoted from. Ajayam cha vishwasya dehisha shaktim sushilam jagatyena namram bhavet shrutam yaiva yat kantakakirana margam swayam swikrita na sugankarayet. Means that, there is an invocation that for whatever reason, if there is a power that is going to be there for the welfare of the world, they want to invoke that kind of a power. They want to invoke a power which is humble, and they want to invoke an intelligence which is rooted in morality, so that they, tread on a path which is full of kantak.
Okay.
Thorns. So what I'm trying to say is that this is actually a leaf for the Congress.
Okay.
They need to identify people who can have power in future, who make their path free of the various kinds of thorns which are there in the way. One being dynasty politics, the other being this absolutely paternalistic attitude towards anybody seeking power within the Congress party. And third, this absolute, choking of any kind of internal democracy in the party. This is what they need to do. If at all they are serious about playing this game of power.
But that's just badmashi. I think you're taking it, that's what, one of the panelists would say, that you're taking it way too seriously, because Digvijay Singh also later went on to clarify that मैंने तो संगठन की तारीफ की है, मैंने RSS की और BJP की तारीफ की ही नहीं है. But let me bring in Mr. Mishra.
Right.
Mr. Mishra, Sumant C. Raman was earlier saying that Tharoor is saying all these things because, he wants to get expelled, and he's been saying it not the first time. Mr. Mohammad Mokem, a former Congress MLA from Odisha, what was his mistake? What did he say? He demanded a change in leadership and called for transfer of Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge's responsibility to younger leaders. And he has to face expulsion.
Swati, first of all, I want to dedicate one song for our Dubeji. He's a big fan of Devanand. So one song from Devanand's movie itself, Johnny Mera Naam, I think, need that song right now. पल भर के लिए कोई हमें प्यार कर ले, झूठा ही सही. तो इनको बहुत जरूरत है, मुझे लगता है इस समय इस प्यार की, इसलिए ये ऐसी बातें कर रहे हैं. Now coming back to Subrasta's point, she is telling family run business. The entire government decisions are taken from the Nagpur, madam, and you think Congress run by a family? Congress is the most democratic process.
Do not explain it to me. Explain it to the voters who are rejecting you left, right, and center election after election. What will you get seeking validation from me? Even if I say that, Congress is absolutely democratic. No. Let me say this. Congress is absolutely democratic.
Which has hijacked all the institutions. If you are not allowed to vote, how will you vote against the Bharatiya Janata Party?
What are you going to get out of it?
There is no democracy.
When there is no democracy
in the country,
so if there is no democracy, how did you get to form a government in Karnataka? That today took a decision. How did you get to form a government in Karnataka that takes a decision of acting against encroachment and then gets sermons from K.C. Venugopal? What kind of democracy, Tushar Gupta, is that? Elected government takes a decision, says it's legal to another chief minister.
This is a democracy that is built by the members of 10 Janpad. It's very interesting that K.C. Venugopal stepped in, but let's get to the chase. They are not worried about Karnataka. They are not worried about the law and order. They are worried that if somehow the left in Kerala can prove that most of the illegal occupation of the land in Karnataka was by Muslims, that would hurt them in the upcoming assembly elections. Wayanad is from where Priyanka Gandhi contests as an MP, and they do not want to carry a sorry face in Kerala. It's that simple. It's all about the Kerala Assembly elections. Congress wants to come out as the party that represents the Muslims' interest. What's going on in Karnataka, as per the law and order, sort of goes against it. It's that simple. And look at the irony of things. When Shashi Tharoor says something, he's trying to get himself expelled. When Digvijay Singh says something, oh, that's a member voicing his opinions. You know, Mr. Mishra here says Congress allows great freedom of thought and expression. He should just make one mistake and question Rahul Gandhi on national television as to why 95 electoral defeats are attached to his name. And he would see how he's thrown out of the party the very next minute. It has happened to a lot of spokespersons in the past. It will happen to more spokespersons in the future as well. Hold on, I did not interrupt you. I did not interrupt you.
Bihari Vajpayee lost 130 election.
And he became the Prime Minister twice. And he became the Prime Minister twice. And he became the Prime Minister twice. What happened to Rahul Gandhi?
He will become Prime Minister for next 20 years. Wait and watch.
Okay.
You are living in a la-la land, Ashwani Kumar Mishra. You're living in a la-la land, and people like you are responsible for the downfall of the Congress. Because you people are so delusional in your approach to politics. That doesn't matter what you believe. The people do not believe in you. Grow up, wake up, smell the coffee, read the room.
But Digvijay
people are rejecting
no,
you.
But again, Digvijay Singh is saying the same things very clearly in his tweet. But Mr. Mishra says don't read between the lines. अरे वो तो ऐसे ही एक statement है. Mr. Mishra, tell me, just to avoid these questions, is it very convenient to point fingers at the BJP, the RSS? One other thing that Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan said, he spoke about the Mattattur Panchayat in Kerala, Congress members joining hands with the BJP to seize power. And then he says this politics of turncoats directly strengthens Sangh Parivar's project. Are you strengthening the Sangathan actually by joining hands with the BJP in the Mattattur Panchayat? As per your own ally, part of the INDIA, ये भी डेमोक्रेसी है, चलता है किसी और पार्टी के साथ हाथ मिला लेना?
No, Swati ji, no congressman in his entire life will join hands with RSS. RSS are the one who were against our freedom, who were against India. Their whole idea of India was radicalizing India on the name of Hindus. So for us, RSS and Jinnah both are enemies.
Congress joining hands with BJP, sir, आप सवाल ही नहीं सुनते हैं ना?
People who want to unite
सवाल ही
India,
नहीं सुनते हैं ना?
they want to radicalize India. They have joined.
सवाल ही तो नहीं सुनते हैं ना? अश्विनी जी,
ये कोई बोले कि कांग्रेस ने
joining hands with BJP, Congress joining hands with BJP in Mattattur Panchayat in Kerala. सवाल ही तो नहीं सुना ना आपने?
BJP, Swati ji, what is BJP? BJP is nothing. BJP is nothing. BJP is a
तो आपने क्यों हाथ मिला लिया बीजेपी से फिर?
BJP get control from.
That is what Mr. Vijayan is saying. That is exactly what Mr. Vijayan is saying. That is exactly what he is saying. Tuinsina wants to come in.
Swati, it can be very irritating to see, Mishra ji every day come and parrot the lines of, people like Manikam Tagore. When he says the government is run from Nagpur, can he provide me one instance? There are so many. This has been a year of reforms. Whether it is the atomic energy bill or whether it is insurance bill, can he provide me evidence of one decision which has been influenced from Nagpur? Why does he spread this canard which people like Manikam Tagore any which way, the kind of gibberish which they utter day in and day out? He can be a little more intelligent in what he's saying on your show. Now, the point is the only thing which comes from Nagpur is the strength of Sangathan, is the importance of discipline, is our commitment to nationalism, and we are absolutely proud of it. This is exactly what is lacking in the present day Congress.
Okay.
They don't have any sense of organization, they don't have any sense of discipline, they don't have any commitment towards the country.
Raman,
and on top of it, they want to brazen it out and equate RSS with all and sundry. So
Raman, please come in.
I find it very amusing that Mr. Sinha would choose to talk about all this when they have not even had a democratic election to elect their party chief. There is a party president who is holding office for way past his term and no replacement, and there is a kind of a working president who has been sort of appointed, not elected. So I think that, look, at least there are opportunities for people to speak up in the Congress party. No, just let me finish, Mr. Sinha. There are at least opportunities.
You don't understand the election process of the BJP.
No. Please explain.
There were a whole lot of preconditions in the constitution of BJP.
Agreed, sir.
Right from election of district presidents to state presidents, there was a huge amount of criteria to be fulfilled.
Who contested?
It doesn't matter if people are unanimously backing the nomination.
That is what is called appointment. Appointed.
How does it matter?
Somebody
At
is
the
appointed.
end of the day,
Okay, all right.
It is unanimously backed with every member of the party.
Election process for him? Please tell us, sir. Sir, be honest enough to accept certain things. There is no harm in saying, yes, that is how we are. That's fine. But please, I mean, you can't justify and say that Mr. Nadda was elected or Mr. Nabin was elected.
No, how?
I'm sorry.
If the nominated person enjoys the support of every karyakarta across the country,
that is what every party will say.
That Congress party never has.
That is not a democratic process.
All right. So one second. So Suman Siraman, when you say that the fact that Shashi Tharoor speaks openly or Digvijay Singh speaks openly or other leaders speaks openly, if you say that is a big indicator of internal democracy, then why should they be expelled? Why should they be expelled? Like Mr. Mokim, who says that age is not on side of Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge. Please give the responsibilities to someone else. Or why someone in Karnataka should be made to face action if they are questioning the leadership of Rahul Gandhi. If that is democracy, just accept it. Be honest to say, okay, we have a problem. Let's address it.
Look, let us be very clear. Every party will have certain red lines. There are some parties where everything is a red line. And that is where there is a problem with democracy, intra-party democracy, discussions of certain types. And the more senior you are, the further the red line is. Obviously, if you have been in the party which you have served for 25, 30, 40 years, obviously there is more leniency shown to you than to somebody who has just come into the party in the last 5 years and done something. So let's be very clear. Every political party
I think there's a problem
does have certain red lines, which when you cross, there will be action taken. And again, it is not often for one act, it is often for a series of actions.
No, but then the set of laws and norms on the basis of which it is decided that this individual has crossed the line, at least that should be the same. It should not differ as per their closeness with the Gandhi Parivar. Tushar Gupta wants to come in.
It can never be the same.
The irony is the one person in the Congress consistently working against the interests of the Congress is Rahul Gandhi. But till date, we do not know why amongst all the Congress workers and volunteers and leaders, Rahul Gandhi qualifies as the prime ministerial candidate of the party. We don't know. We don't know that why in every election campaign, Rahul Gandhi is the face of the Congress. What is his qualification? The problem with Congress supporters is they keep attacking the RSS, the BJP's process. But at the end of the day, the processes within the BJP are giving them results. What is Rahul Gandhi's leadership, Rahul Gandhi's face delivering to the Congress? Significant defeats, political erosion and political oblivion. That is what they do not understand. And that is what Digvijay Singh is also saying, that within the Sangathan, there is a hierarchy, there is a structure where everyone can rise up and attain the top post. Can they do it in Congress? Can someone get up tomorrow and say, Rahul Gandhi is not working, let me be the face of the Congress for the upcoming assembly elections and let me
Can that
take
happen,
a hit?
Mr. Mishra? Is there that kind of democracy in Congress? Can that happen?
Congress has Congress, every person is elected through a democratic process. Rahul Gandhi in past also has left the party president post. And if he really behind the prime minister role, he could have been the prime minister in 2004, 2009. So stop labeling him that he's after the prime minister seat. He is working for
there
the
are people in your party who are saying
there
are people in your party who want Rahul Gandhi to become the prime minister. There are people who are saying who want Priyanka Gandhi to become the prime minister. They want the post to be within the family only. And then you say अरे राहुल गांधी is not behind the prime minister's post. सवाल आपसे internal democracy पर पूछा जा रहा है. Can tomorrow someone question Rahul Gandhi's ability to take decisions after the losses that the party has suffered?
It is individual's choice. Anyone can speak about anything, but as a Congress party, as a Congress worker, we all want Rahul Gandhi to be the prime minister, and he will be the prime minister.
Individuals are speaking. Are you paying attention to what these individuals are saying? These individuals have names. The latest one is Digvijay Singh, who says Rahul Gandhi is difficult to convince you.
Swati ji, प्राइम मिनिस्टर हम उसी को चाहेंगे ना जो पार्टी के लिए काम कर रहा होगा, जो पार्टी को खड़ा कर रहा है, जिसको पूरी पार्टी पूरा देश चाहेगा. Why would okay, let me ask this reverse question to you. Can someone say that in BJP that Modi ji incapable prime minister, let Rajnath Singh be the prime minister?
Tushar Gupta wants to answer. Please come in before I wrap up. Tushar Gupta, please. Tushar Gupta.
Listening to Mr. Mishra, I can tell you one thing, that in the Congress, parrots have more democracy than humans. Parrots are given more favors than humans. Listening to Mishra, I can conclude that. The second question he asked, can someone replace Prime Minister Modi? Prime Minister Modi has won 3 consecutive elections in the Lok Sabha. He's been the head of the government for 25 years now. Narendra Modi, even while securing 240 seats in the Lok Sabha, has a number that Congress has not got in the Lok Sabha.
Why did not anyone replace Atal Bihari Vajpayee after he lost 130 elections in BJP?
All right. So we've heard the panelists. All right. One second, gentlemen. Now we've heard the panelists. I want to also accommodate the views coming in from our viewers, from our audience. Sri Ramalu Devarajulu says Rahul forgot Karnataka is ruled by Congress. Then M. Parker says Rahul and his aide, in bracket KC Venugopal, are responsible for Congress party's present situation. And not just this, let's also take a look at how people voted. This is the question that we asked. Rahul's aide raps Karnataka government. Is this not an attack on democracy? Is this an attack on democracy? 82% people say yes, this is an attack on democracy. 14 people say no, while 4% are saying we can't say. Now, Tuhin Sinha, Shubhrashtra and Ashwini Kumar Mishra will stay with us for debate number 2 as well. I'm thanking the other guests. Thank you very much for your time.